Hey everyone, Cap from TCG Break here, bringing you the 9th installment of my deck building series. With a new Forbidden and Limited list on the horizon, I've opted to only make a few adjustments to the deck as to avoid investing into cards that could be affected by this upcoming list. The few cards that I have added for this episode help round the deck out overall, allowing it to be more competitively viable. So with that being said, without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with the main Ice Barrier monster lineup, I'm playing 3 copies of Revealer of the Ice Barrier, 2 Speaker for the Ice Barriers, and 1 Zooajin. I find this ratio to be perfect in most situations, as you typically aim to normal summon the Revealer and then special summon the Speaker to possibly overlay for a Bahamut Shark, which could then special summon the Totally Awesome. I find you only need 1 copy of Zooajin, as you'd rather not open it in your starting hand, and aim to use it as a target to send from your deck to the grave via the effect of Hexa Spirit. This way, on the following turn, you can special summon Zooajin back from the grave simply by decreasing one of your monster's level by 2. As for the tuner targets, I'm of course playing the 1 copy of Hexa Spirit. I've brought back the 1 copy of Defender of the Ice Barrier, as well as 1 copy of Fishborg Launcher. The 1 copy of Defender allows you to take advantage of Revealer of the Ice Barrier's effect should you happen to open your Hexa Spirit in hand. As in previous episodes, I was finding if I opened both in my starting hand, then I was unable to utilize Revealer's effect in order to special summon Hexa Spirit and possibly bring out the Crystron Halqifibrax thereafter. Moving on to the Frog package, this has stayed the same. I'm playing 3 copies of Swap Frog, 1 Dupe Frog, and 1 Ronin Totem. A couple new additions to the deck. I have 2 copies of Ice Knight and 2 Silent Sea Nettle. Ice Knight is a very useful utility card as you're able to use its effect, which gives you an additional normal summon during your turn. This is helpful, for example, if you would open a hand with Ice Knight and Revealer of the Ice Barrier, as you can normal summon the Ice Knight and then use its effect to normal summon the Revealer, which gives you the 2 materials you need to overlay into your Bahamut Shark and bring out Totally Awesome. Additionally, Silent Sea Nettle is a great water extender, as you're able to special summon it from your hand if you control a water monster, and it also has the very useful effect where you can banish it from your graveyard and target up to 3 water monsters in your grave and shuffle them into the deck. This allows you to recur your resources in order to further your plays in the grind game. As for the spell card lineup, I'm playing 3 copies of Medallion of the Ice Barrier, 1 Freezing Chains of the Ice Barrier, and 1 Winds over the Ice Barrier. Moving on to the trap card lineup, for the Paleos, I'm playing 2 copies of Paleozoic Canadia, 2 Paleozoic Dinomischus, and 2 Paleozoic Olenoides. Additional trap card support, I'm playing 2 copies of Dimensional Barrier, 2 Trap Trick, and the 1 Imperial Order. Dimensional Barrier has proven especially useful in this current format, as it is able to turn off a majority of strategies, especially with the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer running rampant within the format. This card definitely proves its worth within the duels for this week. And to round it out for the main deck, I'm playing 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence and 3 copies of Solemn Strike. Both of these cards help further control the game, and Solemn Strike proved especially useful since a majority of decks are fairly special summon reliant, as well as activate monster effects multiple times within a turn. Now moving on to the extra deck, for the Xyz monsters I'm playing the 1 copy of Totally Awesome, 1 Bahamut Shark, 1 copy of Downward Magician, and the 1 Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder. Most of the time you will try to bring out your Bahamut Shark as soon as possible to protect your plays from problematic hand traps such as Nibiru by utilizing Totally Awesome's Omni Negate, and Downward Magician gives you an additional material in order to then overlay for AA Zeus, possibly wiping the entire board in order to further control the game. As for the Link monsters, I'm still playing the 1 copy of Crystron Halqifibrax, one Marincess Coral Anemone, and I've re-included the one copy of Borrelsword Dragon. I found that last episode, not having the Borrelsword Dragon was a detriment to the deck, as it gives you the ability to easily OTK your opponent, and you are able to bring it out fairly easily, as once this deck gains enough momentum, it can spam the board with multiple monsters, allowing you to go into a higher level Synchro Summon, or bring out a card such as Borrelsword to go for game. As for the Synchro monsters, I'm still playing the one copy of Desert Locusts, one Adamancipator Risen Dragite, a new addition being that of one Borreload Savage Dragon, and of course the one copy of White Aura Whale. In certain situations, when you are able to make a level 8 Synchro, it may prove more effective to Synchro into the Borreload Savage Dragon as to have an Omni Negate to slow down your opponent's plays, but in some cases you do not have a Link monster in your graveyard to attach to the Savage Dragon in order for it to gain its Borrel counters, so Adamancipator Risen Dragite is also an excellent option to possibly stop your opponent from activating a spell card. And to round it out for the extra deck, I'm playing the one copy of Crystron Phoenix, one Crystron Quirion Gandrax, one Trishula Dragon of the Ice Barrier, and of course one Trishula Zero Dragon of the Ice Barrier. As for the side deck, I'm still playing two copies of Artifact Lancia, three Dark Ruler No More, and two Twin Twisters. Lancia is excellent against matchups such as Tri-Brigade, as well as Dinosaur. Dark Ruler No More gives the deck a fighting chance when going second, and is excellent against a variety of decks, such as Dragon Link and Tri-Brigade, and Twin Twisters of course allows you to interrupt your opponent's back row against matchups such as Eldritch and Sky Striker. And rounding it out for the side deck, I'm playing two copies of Different Dimension Ground, three Anti-Spell Fragrance, two copies of Waking the Dragon, and of course the one Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon. Different Dimension Ground has the capability of stopping certain decks outright, for example against the Phantom Knight matchup, and Anti-Spell Fragrance is an excellent addition to the side deck, as quite a few decks are heavily utilizing spell cards, such as Sky Striker, Dragon Link, and Invoked. So with these changes in mind, let's get into the duels for this week. as shown from the match replays, the deck performed rather well overall, given its new additions, though certainly could use some updates to the side deck, given the current meta, and with a new ban list on the horizon, the next installment of this series could certainly bring quite a few changes to the deck overall. So with that being said, that's all I have for this video. As always, if you enjoyed and would like to see more like it, feel free to give us a like and subscribe. Feel free to leave any suggestions regarding changes you would make to the deck in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, until the next one, have a nice day.